Alright, so this is an unboxing of the Scott FRR gas mask. Just got this brand new, sealed in a box. And let me just show you around the box. Okay, so you got the labels over here. Alright, and the rest of the box is pretty simple. Just show you around. Okay, yeah, nothing on the underside. Yeah, let's just got a little green sticker over here. Alright, so let's just open it. Okay, so first we have the spectacle kit. Nice. And then we have what looks to be a manual. Let's get this out. Here's nice. Alright, so and next we have the face piece itself. Just set it down somewhere. Okay. Okay. Let's just sit it down like this. And alright, so let's see. Is there anything else in the box? We've got this piece of cardboard here. Okay. Doesn't look like there's anything else in the box. Okay. And I think it does have a, it looks like a date stamp on the lid of the box. So, okay, that's cool. Alright, so I guess that's it. Let's unbag the mask. So to do that, let's get a pair of scissors. Alright, so I guess that's probably it. Alright, so let's get the mask out. Nice. Okay. So this is the face piece itself. It comes here with a, oh, it's got a little baggie inside as well. Okay, so this is the drinking straw with what looks like and what could be, okay, there we go, now it's focused. Okay, so you have the drinking straw and you have what looks to be additional accessories for maybe the mounting kit. I really can't be sure, but yeah, it's nice to have. Okay, so let's get the face piece out. I mean the face form out. Okay, let's get it. Come on. There we go. All right, so here we go. You have the face form. And you have the face piece itself, FRR, with the proper 40mm port that has no breathing resistance, unlike the modded GSRs. It's probably one of the reasons why I got this one instead of the GSR. Okay, so just set it down here and let's just get all the accessories, all the contents of the box in view. So you have the face piece. Let's get this in frame. Here we go. Okay, it sits on its own. Nice. You have the face form. You have the spectacle kit. You have a little accessory baggie with a drinking straw. You have the manual. It's hard to get everything in frame, but yeah. You have the box. And the manual. And yeah, that's it. Quite a simple package. But then again, that's pretty much everything you need except for the filter to run the mask. So hey, thanks for watching. Okay, so let's talk about the features on the FRR gas mask. We'll talk about important or desirable features that it has, and we'll talk about features that people may look for in a gas mask that it lacks. So we're going to work our way from the top of the mask to the bottom of the mask. And at the top of the mask, we have camera focus. There we go. There we go. We have a flexible panoramic polyurethane lens that sits pretty close to your eyes. So it will work with all the optics out there. It'll work with scopes, binoculars, and night vision, and even those thermal scopes with really shitty eye relief. It'll work with those. And I'll just say this right off the bat about this lens. It is the clearest flexible lens that I've looked through, hands down. Beats the PMKS, beats the PMK4, beats the MSA Millennium, beats the GP21, and will it beat Avon M50, M53 series? Not sure, probably not, but I don't know. But anyways, that doesn't matter because this lens, I cannot notice any distortion through these lenses at all. And the low light performance of these lenses, meaning how much light they let through, is amazing. And by that I mean this lens will not affect your ability to see in the dark at all. Like some of the masks like MSA Millennium, if you put that on at night and try to see in the dark with it, yeah, nah. You're basically blind. But in this mask, it doesn't blind you in the night. And so the way we're going to do this is I'm just going to show you this resolution chart, what it looks like on the phone camera, and I'm going to move a mask into place in front of the phone camera, and then hopefully that way we can see if there's any distortion or not. So let's begin with the Scott FRR. I'm going to move the lens into place. There we go. So that's it with the lens. I'm going to move it around because distortions become really apparent when you move the lens around like this. And as you can see, there may be minute amounts of distortion visible through the camera like this, but when you're wearing it, you notice nothing. You don't notice any distortion. I'm just going to move out of the way, into the way again. This really is an excellent lens. The way we're going to test this is I have a phone camera set up behind a PVX-14 night vision device, and I'm basically going to move the lenses in front of the night vision device, and if the lens blocks out light or a lot of light, the image is going to get darker. And the reason why I'm using a night vision device to perform this test is because night vision is intensified. Any difference in light transmissibility of the lenses will be pretty apparent. As in, if the lens blocks out a lot of light and I move it in front of the night vision device, it's going to get noticeably darker. So, all right, let's start with the Scott FRR. And I need to refocus my night vision device first so I can see clearly in the distance. I guess, yep, that's that. So let me just get the Scott FRR. This is pretty much close to pitch black. In here, I can't see jack shit. Hopefully I don't drop anything, but yeah, okay. So, all right, this is just a night vision device by itself, and this is with a lens in place. Yeah, as you can see, there is a noticeable cut down in light, but to be honest, it's not noticeable when you're wearing it. That's with the FR lens and without. Yeah, it does cut back a little bit on light. But then again, this is noticeable through a night vision device, but not exactly through your own eyes. Your eyes aren't sensitive enough to pick up this minute difference in light transmission. So yeah, that's the FR out of the way. Let me just try to put it down. Now that we're done with the lens, let's move down to this frontal voice emitter and outlet valve assembly. So, all right. So this assembly is covered by a plastic cover that's really cool looking. And I think the British refer to this as the louver. Yeah, really cool looking sounding name as well. But the good thing about this cover is that it pops right out. Boom. Just like that. Easy. And underneath we have, let's start at the top of this. We have a voice emitter. Okay, so I'm gonna play a clip that shows you what this voice emitter sounds like, and hopefully that will demonstrate. But talking about it, this voice emitter is it's clear, okay, but it's not very loud because it's not as big as what you'll find on a M40, MCU2P, MSA Millennium, those kind of masses, and it's also smaller than the voice emitter you'll find on, let's say, the PMKS or PMK4. So, and it's also smaller than what you'll find in Chinese masks, the ones with the the rubber voice diaphragms like the FMJ09, 08, 05, those masks. So in terms of clarity, I say this beats the Chinese rubber voice diaphragms, and but it doesn't beat the Russian PMK4, PMK series voice emitters. The Russian PMK series voice emitters have always just been excellent. And okay, on the topic of loudness, this unfortunately, I think this gets beaten by everything. It gets beaten by M40 in terms of loudness. It gets beaten by the FMJ09 in terms of loudness. It gets beaten definitely by the PMK4 and PMKS in terms of loudness, definitely. Oh yeah, okay, so one type of mask that it will be advantageous against is, those panoramic masks with the voice emitters tucked away in the bottom. This beats them in both clarity and loudness. So, okay. So with the voice emitter done, we have the outlet valve. And what can I say about this outlet valve? All right, it is a double outlet valve with a clear silicon inner valve and a opaque black outer valve. So for people that are looking for double outlet valves and masks, this one does have them. And the cool thing about this outlet valve assembly is it comes right out. It's a whole assembly here that I think it either unscrews or it just pops out. Not sure, but according to the manual, it basically just completely slots out. It just drops out, and you have a outlet valve assembly that's immediately interchangeable or replaceable. So I think that's a plus if you're looking for modularity or ease of repair or maintenance. So that's the outlet valve address. And oh yeah, a very important feature in masks that are often associated with the outlet valve, or pretty much always associated with the outlet valve, is drainage, fluid drainage. So a mask with good drainage will typically have the outlet valve at the bottom. And because it's at the bottom, all the sweat or the nasty shit that collect, or the nasty fluids that gets emitted from your face, basically just drains right out the bottom when you exhale. But I don't know why on the British mask, Avon mask, and now this Scott mask as well, the outlet valve is it's nowhere near the bottom. So all that shit in the mask, all the water, fluids, whatever, it basically just goes down the two holes you see here in the oral nasal cup, and it just basically goes down into the secondary filter. And there's a duct in a secondary filter that basically routes it to the bottom of the mask, and it just collects in the bottom right here. And yeah, I filmed a clip. Explaining that as well, and yeah, probably I'll just cut right to it. Alright, so in a few short moments, I'll be watching the PMK4 and the FRR, and this gives us a opportunity to test out a feature that I deem to be very important in gas masks, the fluid drainage. Alright, so let's say you had a little accident in your mask, or maybe you just sweat a lot. Maybe some water from the drinking system got into the mask instead of into your mouth, or maybe you had a little puke in the mask. A mask with good drainage will mean that all of that nasty shit gets drained out instead of staying in the mask with you. And trust me, as someone who has exerted themselves while wearing a gas mask, you really want that shit to drain out instead of staying in the mask with you. So the way we're gonna test how good the drainage on these masks are is that number one, I'm gonna weigh them before I put water into them on this scale, and I'm gonna basically fill that up with water, and then I'm gonna let as much of it drain out the exhale valve as possible without decanting the mask, and then I'm gonna take the weight of the mask again. And then I'm just gonna basically take the difference of the two weights as how much water gets retained in the mask in terms of mass. And naturally, a mask with better drainage will retain less water inside the mask and will weigh less on the scale. So let's get right into it. All right, so first we have the PMK4. Just turn on the scale. All right, so I'm just gonna weigh the mask. Come on, let's go. Make sure all of it is on the scale. Actually, yeah, since we're gonna weigh it after we put water in it. Yeah, this is ideally what we want. Okay, so the mask without any water or whatsoever is 543 grams, as you can see on the indication here. And what we're gonna do is that we're gonna zero it to 543 grams, and we're gonna fill it up with water. All right, so yep. Let's get some warm water in here, or fuck it, yeah. Yep, we're gonna fill it up with water. You had a massive accident with a drinking system, or you puked a lot in your mask, or sweated a lot, and we're gonna let all of that drain out the exhale valve, and we're not gonna decant it in any way. So basically just a upright orientation will let pretty much all the, and we're just gonna basically do it until it stops dripping, which appears to be right here. All right, nothing else has come out, and we're just gonna put it on. Okay, let's see. So it has retained, let's turn that off, 25 grams of water. And all right, so there's that. Now, okay, hang on, yep, restabilize, and yep, it's 25 grams of water. So
The PMK4 retains 25 grams of water in the mask after you've let as much as possible drain out the exhale valve. Okay, so now let's move on to the FRR. I'm expecting this to do a little bit worse, if not a lot worse. So because of the position of the exhale valve, it's not in a position that you will, yeah, it's not in a position where it will be able to drain all the fluids out of the mask. So yeah, let's weigh it first. Like this maybe. Come on, stay. And yeah, let's zero the scale first. Yep. Yeah, I have no idea how to do this. Okay. Is all of it on the mass? Yeah, all of it is on the scale, and we have a mass of 581 grams. So we're gonna zero the scale, and we're gonna go right ahead and fill it up with water. All right, so yeah. Oh, it's a little warm. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, fill it up. Had a massive accident in your mask. I don't know. Alright, so they just fill it up. And then we're just gonna basically keep it in this in this orientation, because that's pretty much allowing as much as possible to drain out the outlet valve. Oh, I decanted it a little bit there, but whatever. Okay, looks like, okay, there we go. I'm just gonna basically, yeah, let as much of it drain out the outlet valve as possible without decanting the mask. Come on, let's go. Is any more coming out? Come on. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it a little bit more like this. There we go, come on. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna reasonably get any more out. You're all just sloshing around the exhale valve instead of into it. It's alright. Alright, so let's weigh it. Oh, forgot to. Oh yeah, that's negative. So yeah, that is 0 to 581. So if I put it on now, it should give us the mass of the water retained inside the mask. And it is a staggering 128 grams. So yeah, there is an advantage to having a mask with the outlet valve here instead of, you know, directly in front of your mouth. But yeah, it's not gonna be pleasant if to share your mask with all that water in the event that a major accident takes place inside your mask. I'm just gonna say that.
That's the fluid drainage sorted. It's not great. But okay, so with the outlet valve done, let's move to the left side of the mask where we have the drinking system. And okay, so this drinking system, it has pros and very severe cons. I will say this about it. So the pro of it is, okay, it comes right out. And I haven't drunk through this one just yet, because I lack the canteen cap. That's probably still several months out. But from what I've heard from people about this drinking system is that it's really easy to, you know, push it into the canteen cap, and the flow rate on this drinking system is not bad as well. And that's pretty much the only good thing I can say about this drinking system. Oh yeah, and the plug, it's, yeah, I guess it's easy to push in, and it's pretty secure as well if you hold it down. And it's also has a spring loader valve. Come on, focus, please, thank you. Yep, and it has a spring loader valve that basically shuts off, but that basically closes itself off and seals off, any contaminated air when you remove it from the canteen. So that's a plus. But that's pretty much all the pros of this drinking system. Let's move on to the cons. So notice how I've unwound the drinking tube. So let's say you want to put it back together again. You want to, coil it up again. And let's just put it this way. Let me remove the filter. So in the field, right? You have your rubber gloves on, your full MBC protective gear on and you just drunk a little bit of water and now you want to put your tube back into the socket. Now here's the thing. The tube, it has to go around these retaining tabs, and this bit here, it has to go between this this hood stop and this bit right here. And this, if you have a, I don't know, if you have a glove on, it's gonna be really, really, really tough to basically get this to go in perfectly. So that's number one. And then you gotta loop it around the bottom of the mask, so that you have to find you have to find this slot right here, and then you have to you can't see the front part of the mask unless you look in the mirror. So it's gonna be tough to do number one through here, get it correctly slotted in here, and number two, get it to engage this groove here, and then number three, to get it to actually go into the receptacle. Let me just show you. Here we go. Yeah, it's and yeah, you see how I have, oh yeah, because it's not properly went into this bit right here. I don't have enough tube length to actually put it back into its receptacle. So yeah, that's an issue. And I'm doing this while looking at the mask and with my bare hands. If you have MBC gloves on and you're not able to look at what you're physically doing, yeah, it's gonna be an issue to put that receptacle back into the mask. And all right, and this is, I think, the biggest con of the drinking system. Let's talk about it right here. Come on, sit up, or don't. I have installed the drinking tube, but I removed it because of how do I put this? Let's just put it this way. So they give you the drinking tube separately, and you're supposed to install it into the mask like this. You just flip the head harness around. Okay, so come on, there we go. Come on, camera. Okay, there we go. So that is where the drinking tube attaches, and this is the way that it attaches. Yeah, like this. Now, can you see a problem? This tube does not rotate. You cannot swing it out of the way. And it's just permanently affixed in a manner that it always just pokes into your face. So, can you imagine, having this tube installed and it's always just poking into your mouth? Are you gonna really hold on to the tube with your mouth throughout the entire duration of you wearing this mask? Nope. I sure as hell am not happy with that. So, yeah, this part removed. I don't want it in a mask when I'm wearing it. So that's also a very big con of the drinking system. All right, let me just put it back into its little receptacle kit. It's a little baggy. And yeah. So we've talked about the lens. We've talked about the voice emitter. We've talked about the... There we go. Yeah, and we've talked about the outlet valve, and we've talked about the drinking system, its pros and cons. So let's see, what else do we have on the mask? All right, so let's move on to the 40mm port. It's a pretty standard NATO Stanek 4155, I think it's called, is it? I'm not sure, but yeah, RD40 port, and it's basically just going to take any 40mm canister out there. NATO, the common GOST filters, they'll take them all. And this is the only Scott filter that I have. So many thanks again to Laz for this. He gave me this for free. Thanks a lot again. And I'll link his channel or whatever he has in the description down below. And yeah. So this port, it's a 40mm port. Nothing exceptional. Can we talk about the inlet valve? Yeah, I guess it's a decent inlet valve. Doesn't pop, doesn't make weird noises, and it seals off the inlet when you exhale. Yeah, I guess that's that. Alright, so there is one more thing that I forgot to talk about. Breathing resistance. So breathing resistance for this mask is, well, honestly, I can't really tell the difference between something like this and maybe a PM34. And there is talk about the internal secondary filter, how that will add breathing resistance, and I can just barely feel a difference with, like, if I don't have a filter on, and with the filter installed and without the filter installed. With the filter installed, you can maybe just feel a tiny bit of difference in breathing resistance if you don't have a filter installed. However, if you have a filter installed, even this Scott P3, then you don't really notice that difference at all. I mean, I guess a lot of complaints that people have with this filter, being adding resistance, could be due to the fact that that filter is maybe a little bit clogged due to the nature of how HEPA filters work. The more stuff that gets caught in its fibers, that gets attached to its fibers, the higher the filtration efficiency, but at the same time, the higher the breathing resistance, the resistance of air going through it. So there is that. If the secondary filter is brand new, it makes no difference if you have a filter on. And the overall breathing resistance of the mask is pretty on par with the other masks out there. And oh yeah, the reason why I went for the FRR instead of the GSR is that, well, yeah, you can take a GSR and mod it so that it has a 40mm port, but that 40mm port, from what I heard, it adds resistance. It's not the regular 40mm port in terms of breathing resistance. The lumen or the aperture of the port on the GSR is a little smaller, so yeah, the 40mm port on the GSR has more resistance. This one, however, the FRR, I'll just take the filter off to show you. The FRR, come on, will it focus? There we go. The FRR does not have the GSR's 40mm in it. It's a completely different inlet, and it's dedicated for use with 40mm filters. And as such, it's a Parker 40mm port that basically has none of the breathing resistance issues, as far as I can tell, that a GSR has. So there's that. Breathing resistance of the FRR, pretty good, pretty decent. So that's that done. Let's move on to the back of the mask, where we can talk about, alright, also from top to bottom again, the straps. The head harness on this is, okay, if we were to rank head harnesses, the mesh skull cap head harness on the pretty much all the American masks in service right now, those and the Chinese FMJ09 MF11D, those rank at the top. This head harness, well, I would say it's comfortable. It doesn't stick to your hair too much, and yeah, it's pretty rigid and durable. But in terms of comfort, it just doesn't even touch mesh skull cap head harnesses. So that's that. What else can I say about the head harness? Well, it's a 6-point head harness. It supports the weight of the mask really well on your head, and however, is that when you do the bottom straps, if you do them up too tight, or if you just do them up properly, this mask is gonna feel a little oppressive on your chin because it has a hard secondary filter down there, and that's where we're gonna go to later as well. So, all right, so moving down, we have the oral nasal cup, and it's a decent one. Not too much to complain about it. It fits my face perfectly. I have heard complaints from a lot of people about the FR not fitting properly to their faces, and I think I guess the FR and the GSR series is a little selective on what faces it'll fit, but in my opinion, this is a really easy nose cup. This is a really comfortable, this is a really comfortable nose cup. So what else can I say about it? I think it's made of silicone. It keeps its shape pretty well. You can stretch it. You can, it is really easy to remove. And you basically just pull up and pull down, and it pops right out. It's easy. It's the easiest nose cup that I've ever removed from a gas mask. That sounds wrong, but yeah. It is easier to remove than most gas masks, than most oral nasal cups on other gas masks. So there's that. Alright, so my PMK4 just arrived, and the mask, even though it's brand new, is a little bit dusty. So I've decided I'm gonna wash it later. And I also thought, why not? Since I haven't washed my FRR since I got it, I'm gonna wash it alongside too. And why not? Let's also use this opportunity to show you what the FRR looks like when it's disassembled for cleaning. So, well, let's start with the facepiece itself. The signature louver or front cover just pops right off. You just need to pull on this tab right here and it boop, just comes right off. And then inside the mask, the nose cup comes right out as well. And interestingly enough, this is one of the easiest nose cups to remove. You just pull on the top, pull on the bottom, pops right out. Easy. All right. So, and attached to the nose cup is the secondary filter. Let me just show you it. So how it goes is there are these two holes on the bottom of the nose cup, and the secondary or internal filter just slots right into these holes. So when you breathe in, all the air that goes into the mask goes through this filter before it reaches your nose or your mouth or your air inlets. And taking a look at the secondary filter itself, it's pretty interesting. So, and it also has a secondary moisture or fluid collection function. So let's just say you had a drinking system accident, or you were sweating a lot, or you just had a little bit of an accident inside your mask. So all that fluid, all that nasty shit is just gonna go down into this filter onto what looks like a hydrophobic sheeting, and there is you can see a moisture collection tube inside. So what that's gonna do is that all the nasty shit that goes onto the filter goes into this tube, gets routed around the filter and into the bottom of your mask. So all that nasty shit is just gonna collect in there. But yeah, it's not a design I much prefer that all that nasty shit is just drained out the outlet valve, but it is what it is. It's a interesting trend with British gas masks, but it's a comfy system, and it's nice to have another firewall against contaminants inside the mask itself. I guess you can use this with asbestos filter, since it has a HEPA filter inside the mask downstream of the filter. But then again, is there really a point to this in practical use? I'm not sure, but it's cool nonetheless. I think it's the only current production mask in the world to have this system, but yeah, it's unique, and I guess that's why we collect gas masks. So yeah. All right, so it turns out that we did leave out something important. Vision correction. This mask does have the ability to take spectacle kits, and I think this is a proprietary Scott FRR or GSR spectacle kit, and you basically just get your optician to fit these with your prescription lenses, and you can basically mount this kit into the mask, and you can see as well out of your mask as you can with your glasses on. So let's just talk about how it's mounted into the mask. Here we go. Boom. There you go. You have 3 mounting points in the mask itself. 1, 2, 3, which interfaces with these 3 mounting points on the spectacle kit. 1, 2, 3. So it's a pretty easy deal to just basically put this in the mask and clip it on. And that's basically it. I have not tried it myself because I have no need for this yet, but from what I can tell, it's going to be really easy. So if you need vision correction, this mask has it. Alright, so this is me with the FR on my face. So now that it's on my face, we can talk about its comfort, and you can also, hear for yourselves how well this voice emitter works. So let's begin with the comfort. Comfort is it's alright. It's not the most comfortable mask out there. It is a tight-fitting but generally comfortable mask on my face. That is. Okay, so the biggest weak points in terms of comfort on this mask is the chin. It has the secondary filter that's made out of hard plastic right inside here. This block here, that's the secondary filter. And it can get pretty oppressive on your chin when you do this bottom straps up. However, there is still a sweet spot in the bottom straps where you can set it so that it's tight enough that it won't lose seal when you look down, but it's also not so tight that it will start to push up into your chin. So it's a bit finicky, but you can get it to work comfortably on your face.
And it does have a two seal system, and sometimes I notice that when I'm doing chores, it's not the outer seal that's working, but it's the inner seal that's actually keeping the mask from leaking when it's on my face. It can sometimes get a little bit oppressive on the forehead, but you do your top straps up. You just basically have to adjust the straps repeatedly to tune it out to see what settings are comfortable for you. But okay, if it's a little bit off, it may start to get a press on the forehead, it may start to get a press on the chin, but do it right and you can wear it for hours on end. The maximum I want this mask continuously for is 4 hours, and it's me doing chores, looking around, doing stuff, stuff involving dust. But because I've set it up correctly, that time it works perfectly. It's comfortable. You can definitely, wear this mask over the long term. But other than that, that's all I can say about the mask. It's tight fitting but comfortable. It requires a little bit of adjusting on the straps, but that's something you can do. And once you've set it up correctly, boom, comfy. Are there any disastrous drawbacks of this mask? Nah. I can talk. My chin. Well, I've set it up correctly so that my chin isn't oppressive even when I talk. But yeah, that's pretty much sums up the comfort of this mask on my face. That is. Okay, alright. Another thing I need to talk about is the bulk. This is a heavy fucking mask. It's not so heavy that it's uncomfortable. So there is that. Now, ranking the comfort, let's see. Unfortunately, it's gonna have to rank below the PMK4 and the PMKS because those are just awesome masks to wear. They're lightweight and they fit your face like, glove on hand. And what else can I say? So, yeah, so PMK4, PMKS, those masks rank above this one. FMJ09, because it has the mesh skull cap head harness, well, it also ranks above this. Pretty much all masks with a mesh skull cap will rank above this because it still has this, old style rubber, head harness. And okay, I can also talk about a little bit about the head harness. It's it doesn't catch on your hair too much, but that's because I have short hair, and it's easy to adjust, easier than most rubber head harnesses that I've dealt with. It clicks in, clicks out, no problem. And yeah, it's in terms of rubber head harnesses go, this ranks really high up. So there's that. And you've been listening to me talk through this voice emitter all the time, and yeah, it's loud enough, and it's decently clear as well. And the ranking on that, I've already talked about it in the features video, so you can in the features clip. So yeah, you can watch that. And what else? Oh yeah, now let's talk about accessory compatibility. Alright, so now let's test out how well the FRR gas mask work with other wearable kits such as comms, helmets, and night vision. So let's start with comms. This is a WADSM Compex 2 headset clone. Let's put it on. Okay, so it goes onto my head without an issue even with the gas mask on. Let's see how close we can get the microphone to the voice emitter. And yeah, I guess it can get pretty close even though the voice emitter is extended pretty far away from your face. So in summary, comms, headsets with the headband, it'll work with the mask on, no issues. You can put it on, no issues, and the microphone will go pretty close to your voice emitter as well, so your buddies can hear you scream over the radio just fine. Comms, yes. Now let's move on to helmets. So this is my helmet setup. I've got a PVS-14 night vision attached to a Wisco Mitch clone ballistic helmet via a Nortos Rhino mount plus JR mounting system. So let's go. I should just point out the PVS-14 is real, made by L3 with a Omni 8 tube inside, but the rest of the stuff are clones. The Nortos mounting system is a clone, and the Mitch helmet I have, it's not a real Mitch. It's a ballistic helmet made by Wisco, but it's a clone of a Mitch, so there's that. So yeah, the helmet goes onto my head even with the mask on pretty easily. So yeah, I guess that's a plus. With the FRR on, you can put a mid helmet on pretty fast and easy, just as you can without a mask on. So that's a plus. And now let's test out night vision with it. So I've already adjusted this to to the FR because I have been using my previous 14 with my FR quite a lot. Okay, so let's just bring it down, and yeah, that's it. It does have to go right out to the lens for you to get the full 40 degrees of field of view, but that's what that's just night vision for you. And in terms of actual use, yeah, the FRR does not the FRR does not obstruct night vision use at all. You can use your previous 14s with it without issue. So yeah, there's that. So, in summary, comms, yes, it'll work. Helmets, yep, it'll work nicely with helmets. Night vision, definitely. The lens is close enough to your eyes that you can see the full 40 degrees of field of view out of a PVS 14. So there's that, and yeah, FR works with everything.
Alright, so there's one thing I forgot to address with the mask, that is VPU and comms integration. So as far as I can tell, because the cover removes so easily, just like so, you can pretty much just pop a VPU unit onto it easily. And there is also a Racal microphone cover for this that is basically just a replacement of the louver assembly in the front, this front cover here. And you basically have a Racal microphone that clips onto a slot that is in the place of this voice emitter grill over here. So yeah, in terms of comms integration, and yeah, I'll be sure to put pictures up on the screen. In terms of comms integration and VPU integration, this mask can take it on the merit of just how easy it is to swap out the front cover. So yeah, there is that.